Tuesday morning, 23rd, going on 11 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just going to do a quick sit down. This isn't going to be like a walk around day vlog type situation. It's going to be a sit down and just a quick one. I told you guys in the last vlog that we were going to go camping. We did. It was good. It's a good getaway. Hot. Man, God, it was hot. Um, the humidity down here, I mean, the temperatures have been 92, 93, 94-ish, and then there was a day it got up to like 90, like 98, 99, whatever. But the humidity it's off the chain. It is unreal. Anyway, but it was a good outing. It was fun. So, but last Tuesday I had my appointment with the my consultation with the surgeon. So we went to Orlando to meet him and go over that. They set set the surgery date. That is for the 8th of July, which is coming up quick. And I'm nervous about it. I'll get there in a minute. But it was a good consultation. He explained a little bit more. I went in with questions, but he already had answers for the questions I had, so I didn't have to ask him. He was just going over stuff. So it worked out well on that end. But he did note, which I found odd, that the nodule itself on the right thyroid was, yes, it's big. It's the size of a lemon. But it wasn't, he said it wasn't as far down as what we had originally thought, which I really find kind of odd because when they were doing the, what do you call it, the biopsy, the fine needle aspiration, I told you guys he had to get assistance from his colleague, my doctor here in Ocala, and he had the ultrasound, which is how they do it. That's how they do the biopsy. They have to find it and know exactly where they're going. But the guy had to go right at the base of right here. I mean, right here. And like I said, he had to really mash into my neck to go down, to look down. And then when he put the needle in, normally they would just go in like this. He went in like this and went down. So I don't know. Did it move? I mean, because I know what they did the day they did the biopsy, but he said it wasn't that far, or didn't look to be that far down behind, the bone, the breast area, whatever you want to call it. So, I don't know. It's going to be wait and see. He did say it was a complex case because the way the curvature is of my neck, and I'm shrunk, if you will. It's kind of like down and curved. So nothing is in here is where, I mean, it's where it should be, but it's just kind of compressed. So it is a little complex, but he said that he could do it, no problem. It would take about an hour. And as I said before, it's a day surgery. So we're going to stay the night over. And I don't know if we're going to stay over the day of, or if I'm going to have, I don't know. That's going to the only reason we would stay over the night or the day of the surgery, rather than drive back here to Ocala, would be due to nausea. So what I may do, and I'm sure they'll do it because it's not a narcotic or anything, but before I leave, I'll have them, run some while the IV is still in, run some extra nausea medication in, and maybe that would help keep that at bay until we at least get back to Ocala. But then again, I may not even have that problem. But I normally don't. I can't really say that either because I've had other surgeries with general anesthesia and I was perfectly fine. The last time with the foot surgery, it was like, yes, I woke up nauseated. I got sick right off the top in the recovery room. But they did the nausea medicine, knocked it right out, no big deal. My mistake was, because I was so sick that night, my mistake was on the way home, Dan wanted to go through IHOP and get something to eat, and me, being that I felt fine and hadn't eaten since, the day before, Um, yeah, I had hit back. Sorry about that. But hadn't eaten the day before, and all that day, I got something from IHOP, and that I believe between the little bit of what the anesthesia was that was still in my system, I threw that in my belly, and it was game over. So that could have just totally been my fault. But in any case, yeah, I don't know what we're going to do with that. That'll be just a wait and see, you know, and just go that route. But oh, and then I had to call. I was supposed to have my Remicade infusion today, but I was trying to get a hold of the infusion nurse since Friday. And of course, they were closed Friday. We're not going to get into that as to why, but they were closed, and um, well, it's a holiday. They closed for the holiday. Um, so I called her, or tried to call yesterday, and she wasn't available. So I left a couple of voicemails, and then finally this morning I called again, and she was just getting ready to call because she had heard, she had just went through to her voicemail. But I can't have my infusion because you have to have a span of 6 to 8 weeks after your last infusion before you can have surgery. So I can't have my infusion, my Remicade infusion, until I get a clearance from the surgeon after a surgery. So, which I'm sure will be pretty quick. I mean, I don't see any reason. So what I'll do is I'll just wait, like, I'll talk to him when I see him the day of the surgery, before surgery, obviously, and say, hey, would a week or week and a half be okay? Which I'm sure it will be. And then I'll call and get that rescheduled. But yeah, and by that time, I'm going to need it. So, but yeah, I think everything will be fine. It's just going to be. I am a little nerve wracked about it, simply because of the AS. Simply because I don't know. At first, I was worried about intubation with the breathing tube and all that, because they put you out and they have to breathe for you during the surgery, or any general anesthesia for that matter. But my only concern was, in my head, I was playing into it too much. And I'm thinking, okay, they got my head back already because they're going to be doing the surgery here. And I'm like, how's the anesthesiologist going to get this breathing to me? I mean, mind you, doing this before the surgery, right? But in my head, it's like, all right, my head's tilted back. They got to get that in. Plus, they're going to have to go back more to do the surgery. And I'm like, I hope they don't break my damn neck. You know what I'm saying? So I I'm worried about that. You have to be, anybody with AS has to be worried about that, because when you have joints that are fused, my case spine, if you snap a piece of the bone that has grown to fuse your neck or your vertebrae, if you snap a piece of that, it will take another piece with it, of regular vertebrae with it. Hence, the fracture when I had fractured my neck and didn't know it. So, um, yeah. And that one's still kind of a mystery. We think we got that one narrowed down to a car accident, but yeah, it had fractured. I had fractured my. For those of you who don't know, I had at some point fractured my neck. Didn't know it. Found out about it a while later, like a few years later, and but yeah, that's what can happen. So when I say I'm nervous about them, you got the anesthesiologist behind me, and he's doing his thing. He's got to get the tubes in. And that is no big deal. My sister-in-law kind of explained it a little bit to me. Stuff they use, plus I've looked it up since then. That'll be fine. But dude, that I don't know. The surgery part itself is you have to bend your. I'm gonna pin him down the day when he comes in to see me before the surgery. I'm gonna pin him down, and yeah, make sure he understands what he's dealing with, which he does. Let me tell you what he did. When I brought that up during the consultation, he goes, "Well, where's your scar at?" I'm like, because I told him about the fusing and all that. And where's your scar at? I'm like, there is no scar. I've had no surgery. It fused on its own. It's ankylosing spondylitis. And he looked at me and he went and looked at the paper again. So yeah, when he comes in the morning before we go back, I'm gonna double down and say, listen, don't forget this. Don't be snapping me in two. Doing whatever it is you got to do. But but it'll be fine. It's got to be done. It'll be fine, and that's what I'm telling myself because I have had several surgeries in my lifetime and I have never really been nervous about them except for this one. And I don't know why, and I can't put my finger on it. Maybe, okay, here's the thing. It is possibly due to the fact that, yes, they're going to be in your neck. Everything is compressed in my neck, so things aren't exactly where they should be. They are, but, compacted, if you will. So when they take this nodule out, which they're taking half the thyroid with it, I forgot to tell you that one. So they're taking the whole right thyroid is gone. So, but what I'm saying is there are so many things going on with your vocal cords. You got a lot of veinage going on in here. You have God, what are they called? The small thyroid. I can't remember the name of those. Anyway, but he was trying to be funny. He goes, "We'll just toss those over to the side, and we'll put them back when we're done." But but he was trying to appease me is what he was trying to do when he said that. But there's a lot going on, mainly the vocal cords, and there's a couple of good arteries in there that you really have to be careful with. So that's probably why that's what's making me nervous. Let me just be straight up. That's what's really kind of messing with my head a little bit. But yeah. So I have sat here and I've rattled enough. I'm going to jump off of here. I'm going to document the day of surgery and the whole process as much as I can. And again, that's not for a few more weeks yet. But, I'll get another vlog up before then. This was just a ramble, y'all. I apologize, but really and truly, this one's really got me kind of flustered. So, yeah, it really does. On that note, I have sat here and bent your ear enough. I'm going to jump off of here. I want to get this house complete scrubbed down and everything done before surgery because I don't want to come back to it. I don't like leaving to go anywhere and then coming back to a jacked up house. That's whether we are going camping or whatever. Anytime we leave this house on anything that's going on other than a day-to-day, I cannot stand coming back to a dirty house. I just can't, and it drives me nuts. Dan, not so much. It doesn't bother him that much. Me, it bothers. So I got to get everything done around here so that I can come, don't have to worry about it when I get back, and I don't have to whatever. So anyway, all right. I love each and every one of you for free. Thank you if you made it this far. God bless you. Love you, and I will see you in the next one. All right, guys.